name is Meredith, and today we are going to talk about vitamins and minerals and what the numbers of the tests really mean for you and how you feel and function as a human being. This has been this has been a really difficult thing for me to personally discover, but once I did and started to make changes in how I eat or what supplements I do or don't take and what movement that I take on in my life, things really started to turn around with my health. And that's really important to me to share with others. So I want to talk about it. And most especially, this is so near my heart right now, specifically because it was just this very morning that a very good friend of mine was discussing some of the testing that she had had done through her doctor. And I inquired about her vitamin D levels, to which she replied, "My levels are normal." Yeah, I was told that for years. Let me tell you, normal and optimum are not the same thing. They're not even close. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've learned, and I have even taken notes because, guys, I don't want to miss any part of this. It's too simple and too simple to overlook. So we're going to talk about this starting right now. We're also going to talk about some of the symptoms that you're likely to experience if you happen to have some of these levels being less than optimum. All right, so let's get started, and happy good morning, afternoon, or evening to you, wherever you are and whenever you might happen to catch this. Hi, Garden Hoe. Thank you so much for the floating heart, Miss Chi. How are you this morning, my dear? All right, listen, I got to talk about the things. These little health things, they're not necessarily things that we are aware of, but let me tell you, they have such a very huge impact on your health and how you are able to function and maintain. Truly, this is just something I didn't know. And again, once I discovered this and started addressing these, I'm experiencing nothing but better every day. And I want that for you too, honestly, more than I could possibly say with words alone. So let's get into it a little bit, huh? All right. This is going to be a pretty quick overview of the typical vitamin and mineral levels that are checked during pretty routine blood testing with your doctor. And these are also tests that you can get done yourself. There is LabCorp, and there's a lot of these tests that you can go in, as a cash, I guess you're a patient, as a cash patient and request that this testing be done, have your blood drawn, and get these answers. So here we go, guys. Vitamin D, the absolute building block of all health. We are tested for vitamin D blood serum, and when levels are between 30 and 100 nanograms, you're considered normal. And this actually is true. However, there's another number that you don't necessarily know. That's what I'm going to talk to you about with each one of these. Please take notes because I haven't yet figured out how to make a PDF freely available to you all, but I will. I promise you I will. And it will be free because this is not information that should be hidden from us at all. So if your vitamin D levels are between 30 and 50, you're going to get a normal label. And that's fine because that means it doesn't indicate actual disease. However, if you are not 50 to 70, which is considered optimum functioning levels of vitamin D, I didn't know that. You might not know that. I'm going to share this with you. So normal might be as low as 30 before supplementation might be suggested from your medical professionals. However, without these optimum numbers, let me just give you a couple things you might be experiencing. Low mood or the seasonal blues, which you guys know I deal with. I deal with it all the time. And I take a lot of vitamin D and a couple other supplements, and I eat very nutrient dense food. Still, it's hard. And really, when if you've lived in a state of depletion for a long time, it takes a long time to build these stores back up. So you can experience low mood, frequent colds or infections, oh my God, I feel that to my core. I used to catch colds over the phone. Like I was that bad off. Bone aches and lower back pain. This is huge, 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 because so many people are walking around with that dull, aching, low back pain. Guys, this is a huge indication that you don't have enough vitamin D to function 100%. And, if you're not going to try and function at your peak, what the heck is the point, right? The struggle has been real and it's been too long. Let's just move past this. Now, you will also potentially experience some weakness of muscle and fatigue no matter how much you sleep. That also resonates very deeply with me because for so much of my life, 12 hours of sleep, like I had to have 12 hours of sleep, or I could not function at all. So that's vitamin D levels. Again, you're going to be told that your ranges are normal if they don't dip below 30 nanograms per deciliter. But for optimum human health, for you to feel good and function right, you really want those levels to be between 50 and 70 or higher. If you're an athlete, stay on top of this and keep monitoring this. Okay, here's another big one, vitamin A. And I think that a lot of us are real confused about vitamin A because it'll say vitamin A on the label and it's not necessarily an active form of vitamin A. This is actually pretty common with all of our vitamins. And, that's something I've learned. So I'm sharing that. What you want to be looking for, by the way, if you do supplement, is an active form of retinol. All right. So your levels are considered normal between 20 and 80 micro something per deciliter. So that's the numbers. Anything 20 and 80, between 20 and 80 is going to be considered medically normal because medically that's normal. Okay. But optimum levels are 40 to 60. And why does that matter? Because your vision depends on real and true active retinol, because your immune strength depends on this. So does your skin integrity. So if you're low on vitamin A, you may experience some of these symptoms: dry skin or eyes, poor vision at night, frequent infections, and slow wound healing. Oh my God, every bit of this is so familiar to me personally, y'all. All right, next up on the list is vitamin E. So normal levels are going to be considered between 5 and 20 milligrams per liter, but for optimal performance, you want to stay between 12 and 20. It does matter because it's antioxidant protection and it's cell membrane stability. And antioxidant is said a lot, but I don't know if we all really understand what it is. So this is in layman's terms, because I'm not a medical professional. I have that in the description. I want y'all to know this is not medical advice. This is human advice from one human who struggled and struggled and struggled for years to potentially others. I don't think we should have to go through the struggle, so I'm going through this. So basically, oxidation within the body it's rusting, and that's not good. We don't want that. So antioxidants, just an easy way to understand it, and again, this is just in layman's term, is anti-rusting. It's much easier to understand for me and my brain. All right, next up, like I was, I already did that. Yeah, vitamin B12. Holy crap, this is such a biggin. Like, it's huge. B12, I personally have a very hard time maintaining vitamin B12 levels, so I have to supplement really regularly and kind of in high numbers. But B12 is a safe one. You can't really overdose on that. Normal levels are going to be 200 to 900 PGs per milliliter, but your optimum, look, 200, as low as 200 is considered normal. But to function optimally, to feel good and run right, basically, as a human being with this wonderful human body, you want to be between 600 and 900 PGs per milliliter. And why does it matter? Your nerve health. That's why it matters. Your energy, your red blood cells. Yeah, your red blood cells cannot do their job without this. And I can promise you from personal experience, your nerves will suffer from it too. The myelin sheaths that coat your nerves, it will wear out, it will thin out, and things can get incredibly painful. All right, so B12, without that, it can cause fatigue, weakness. One of the bigger ones for me personally has been brain fog and memory issues. When you can't recall, when you have those memory issues, and especially when you're really young, because mine started, I was in my early 40s, you think dementia. I ain't going down like that. Are you? I hope not. All right, let's get into some more of the things about the B12. Tingling in the hands and feet. And that's what I'm saying. Your nerves. I had the most awful neuropathy for years and years. I mean, to the point I could open nothing. Not I couldn't open doors. I couldn't use keys. I had all kinds of can opener gadgets just trying. I still couldn't do it. Okay. Because I had no detectable B12 in my body. And it takes a long time to build your stores up. And the reparations actually, they can happen. They truly can. All right. Another symptom that you might experience if your vitamin B12 is low is pale skin, which is not helpful if you have a darker complexion. Next up, B6. So normal levels are considered between 5 and 50 nmo per liter, but optimal is 30 to 60. See these numbers, these variations between what's normal and what's optimum? It's a pretty big range, and you're going to potentially experience at least the beginnings of a lot of these sorts of symptoms if your levels are not optimum. So with your B6, if you ain't got that, you can be quite grouchy and cranky because it has so much to do with how your brain is able to function and cope. And in fact, that goes for all of the B vitamins, just across the board. Your brain needs the Bs. They need them. They need them. They need them. You'll get cracks at the corners of your mouth, have a real low mood, and suffer some extensive PMS symptoms. But see what I'm saying? These vitamins, they're a big deal. And then the ranges. What's normal? That ain't necessarily right. So magnesium, and this is one of my favorites. And y'all, this is the one I take right here. I love this. It's magnesium glycinate by Cunol. It's 420 milligrams. And for me, I take 3 a day. So I actually take 640 milligrams. But 420 is a really good daily number for most folks. So again, magnesium, your serum normal number should be, to be considered medically normal, you're going to be between 1.7 and 2.2 micrograms per deciliter. And that's not really an ideal marker. So, that's the serum test too. What you want your RBC optimal number really to be at is between 5.5 and 6.5. That's massively different in the numbers there. There's some functions that are not going to be working properly if your numbers are off. I promise you. And I lived it for the longest time. There were so many things that I actually was never able to do, like use like knitting needles or to type to properly open an egg. Anything that took both hands to be in cooperation with each other, they just did not work right. They do now. So if that speaks to you at all, hey, baby, there might really be hope, really and truly. All right. So if your magnesium numbers aren't low, I'm good. This is so big for me. You can and will experience muscle cramps and tightness, clenching of the jaw. One thing leads to another. Clenching of the jaw leads to cracked teeth. I can promise you that too. Don't want that. It leads to poor sleep, anxiety and stress sensitivity, and holy crap, constipation. If you can't poop, chances are you got some magnesium issues in my human experience. And actually there's a liquid form of magnesium called magnesium citrate. It's available at every pharmacy and big box regular store across the America anyway. Drink some of that and it will loosen you up. It's not going to harm you, but read the instructions on the label. I mean, if you're under the care of a doctor, please talk to your doctor because I'm not one. All right. Next up, potassium. I had problems with this too. So I was dealing with a whole lot of heart rhythm issues. There was talk of all kinds of different diagnoses, like AFib was in the arena of speaking. Look, it wasn't that. All my levels were wrong and had been wrong for a long time. But so your normal potassium, my apologies, potassium levels should be between 3.5 and 5.1 mmO per liter. MMOL, sorry, per liter. But the optimal numbers, 4.2 to 4.8. That one might not seem like it's a biggie, but it is, because potassium is what is in the water content of the human body, and that allows our cells to communicate electrically. And without your levels being right, those electrical signals don't function properly. And your heart is very electrical. So is your brain. All right. If you do have potassium that's low, you can experience muscle weakness, cramping, heart palpitations. That's what I'm saying. I had the palpitations so much. Oh, it was scary. You don't want to be dealing with that. Fatigue and dizziness on stand. Oh, so my man is low on potassium. See, this is, in my opinion, this is real healthcare management, but it takes time to get there. I manage my family's health based on how we feel and if we do happen to have any sort of things crop up every now and again. So my man has a very difficult time. If he gets up really fast, he's like, "Woo!" For 5 seconds, he's a little dizzy. So it makes me think maybe we should address his potassium, but we are also going to be getting our levels checked here very soon. All right, calcium. Who and why does it matter? Because your bones and your teeth and your nerve and your muscles all need calcium, but not that crap that you can buy on any shelf in America. That is not going to work. That is driveway rock. It really is ground up driveway rock. It's calcium carbonate. Don't do it. You need better calcium than that if you need calcium. But normal numbers are going to fall between 8.6 and 10.2 micrograms per deciliter, where your optimum level is going to be between 9.2 and 9.8. And if your calcium is not right, you can and will experience muscle spasms, tingling fingers, brittle nails, and bone density loss over time. And why does the bone density go down? Well, it's because when you don't have enough, and this happens with everything, y'all, keep this in mind. When you don't have enough calcium coming in, the body is going to take the calcium that it needs from your bones and use it where it needs to actively use it. Your heart needs calcium. The rigidity of your muscles, they require this. I'm sorry, I get a little tongue tied. I get excited. I'm very excited about people being able to properly maintain their own human bodies. This is the information I was missing. Maybe you are too. All right, here we go. Next up is your iron panel. I'm just going to run over the numbers real quick. I have a love-hate relationship with iron because there's so much confusing information out there. And you know what? We will do a whole thing on just your iron panels here in the near future. Not today, but we're going to go over these normal numbers. Your normal ferritin iron number should be somewhere between 12 and 300 nanograms per milliliter. That's a huge spread. But your optimum levels for women, 50 to 100, not 12. So that's what I'm saying. You're not going to get you're low on iron until you fall under that 12. But a functioning level is 50. That's hugely different. And again, this is something I did not know. You may not know it either. And this is why we're talking about this. Let's keep our numbers closer to optimal, really and truly. And when your iron is low, your ferritin and your hemoglobin, by the way, two different tests, and your hemoglobin for optimal number for women is 13 to 14.5. And men is 14 to 16, and that's grams per deciliter. But okay, so if your iron is off, you can and will experience potentially fatigue, shortness of breath, your hands and feet being cold, losing your hair, cravings for ice, and that's a huge one, and restless legs. But if you have restless legs, please don't go and just get some iron supplements. Don't do that. Iron is not one. I would not try to manage my iron on my own. I would not. You absolutely need to have the testing done and the feedback. You need those numbers, guys. So just saying. I do things that other people, I wouldn't recommend other people do it. I do my health my way. All right. Next up, we're going to talk about the zinc, which is so important. And it goes with the next one. So I have to talk about them both at the same time. If your zinc levels are off, your copper levels are off. Copper and zinc work together, just like vitamin D and magnesium work together. And they keep each other balanced. So optimal levels versus normal levels of zinc. Normal is considered 60 to 130, and optimal is 90 to 120. Like that, again, that's massive. That's 30-point spread between what's considered deficient, because you got to go down that low before you get any sort of news from your medical team that it's low. Because listen, guys, the monitoring is not set up to monitor your optimum health levels. It's set up to detect treatable disease, a billable code. And that's not ugly. It's just business. This is the facts. Okay, so Zinc matters because it's very important as part of your whole immune system. And also, it helps with your hormones and wound healing. And with copper, it's what helps you metabolize the iron and connective tissue health. Very important. So, without your copper and zinc levels being right, FYI, your iron levels will not be right. See, it's all connected. And again, we didn't necessarily know that. There is there is this little one right here. This is going to be the last one that I'm going to touch on, and then I'm going to see if anybody has any questions. Is one that we don't really hardly ever think about, and that's selenium. Selenium is a trace mineral, and you need very little of it, but the lack of it does such a crazy thing within the body. And it's just one of those things we don't really think about very often. Boron is another one, but we're not going to talk about that today. So your selenium levels, if they are normal, they're going to fall between 70 and 150 versus 110 to 150 to run at optimum levels. Like, yeah. And then, wait, where's the thing without, I don't know where the hell I put, where the heck I put there it is. If your selenium levels aren't right, you'll have thyroid sluggishness, low energy, changes in your hair, and weak immune response. So all of it's all connected, guys. And the part I really truly believe that we have been missing is this part. It's the in between. I am not anti-medicine. Yes, I'm a tree hugging hippie, but there is a middle ground in there. A large part of it, the information I think that we need to know that we don't necessarily have. So I am digging and researching, have been for a few years now, and fighting to learn how to share this information with you without being considered some misinformation, because I don't want to put any fake information out there. I want us all to feel better, truly, truly. All right, let me see if anybody has a question here. Hi, Luke Walks with Jesus. B. Ant, what is going on? We don't know. And here's the other thing. And I got caught up in this, and I'm not going to try to hold back. When I first discovered that I hadn't been eating real food and that my levels were wrong, and that was really the root of all the problems at first, I was very, very angry. Very angry. Because I felt like everything I thought that was real and right in the world was a lie, that I had just been hoodwinked, bamboozled, done wrong, and it was their fault. And I mean, seriously, I was mad at the industrial food industry. That crap's not food, by the way. And I was mad at doctors. But then I learned, wait, first of all, that whole food industry, all right, that's a business. All right, no harm, no foul. I'm not going to eat your crap. All right, but then the doctor's part, I was so confused. I was like, well, how can they let this go on? How can they let us have these levels and feel like crap and don't tell us not? Y'all, it's not their fault. They're not trying to make us sick. The people that taught them are the ones profiting the most off of maybe not publicizing this information. We can feel better. We can feel better. I promise we can. All right. Yes, it's Ames is go. Hey, oh, you're like, yes, Brazil nuts. And you know what? And I learned this from Dr. Eric Berg. And if you haven't seen his channel, I highly, highly recommend it. Listen, that dude just takes real like body science and breaks it down. And he talks about things that just make it make sense when your brain isn't working right, especially. But yeah, so 2 Brazil nuts a day. That's all you would need to consume. 2 Brazil nuts every day will provide you with all that selenium. That's amazing to me. And yeah, like the aunt said, we don't know. Crafty sister, hi. Crafty sister, how you doing, darling? Hey, Chris, good morning. Let me see who else is on her. Hey, Chi. Oh my gosh. Hi, y'all. Sue, Tina, Harvey, Kenneth, and Phil Road. Official Jamia. Hi, sweetie. My heart's so with you. Marva at Charles Fort Lauderdale Garden. Hey, I really wish you had that rain video super, super duper long, because that's great to sleep to, I think. James, good morning. Oh, thank you so much. Mr. One, Boston. You know a good dentist who can make me a mouth go. I do have one now, but frankly, and you know what, and this could be you too, I had no freaking idea. for probably 20 years, I had no idea that not only was I clenching when I slept, I was clenching when I was awake. I did not know. I I held all my stress really and truly right here and then right here. So it was always clenched up all the time. And I didn't know until I started getting, renutrified, if you will, and remineralized and things started to relax. Until the relaxing started, I didn't have any idea that I was locked up like that. I had just had no clue. Yeah, I was 100% in just fight for survival mode for over 40 years. I had no clue. And there's relief. There is relief. I'm just saying, just saying. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Oh, official Jamie, I hadn't seen you in a minute neither. Tino Whiskershin. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Harvey. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing good today. Hi, Weston Barrett. How are you? Your vitamin D is always low, Stu. Okay. Okay. So those of us who have, let me get stuff out my face. Y'all, I'm sorry. I had to take notes because y'all know I can't. I'll be like, oh, squirrel. um, if you have autoimmune disease, and this is not medical, this is just my opinion, but this is my opinion based on research and personal life experience, not just my own body, but those who are close to me. If you have autoimmune disease, then you have a very hard time maintaining vitamin D levels. And this is what I do for myself. I'm not advocating that you do this for yourself, but I am advocating that maybe you should pay closer attention to those numbers, and those optimum numbers are really important. If you have autoimmune diseases, in my experience, if you get your levels to 50 and above in the nanograms, not down low near the 30, so many of them will go away. So many of your symptoms, rather, will go away, and turn down the volume. Just turn the freaking volume down on it. I know I dealt with it my own self. But so I take 100,000 IUs of this every day, and some days 150, but I never take it by itself. So if you are a medical person, don't freak out. Okay. I don't take it by itself. I take it with magnesium. And probably most importantly, for those of you who might be wondering about my calcium levels, I have the K2 also. So I take a super K blend. I never, ever take these by themselves, except when I first started. When I first started to supplement, I only took one vitamin, and that was vitamin D. I took it for 10 days, and suddenly light came to my eyes, and I knew I was on to something. So it was off to the races at that point. And then I added the magnesium, which if I had to do it again, I would have done them both at the same time. But I would have been, if you're low on your levels, I wouldn't take more than two. I would, because I think this, your body probably hasn't been getting it for a long time. It's going to get it. It's going to be like, whoa, what is that? Oh yeah, let's go to work. But you don't want to do that, in my opinion, with like a whole bunch, because then it can just be overwhelming. And it's hard sometimes in this big macro world to think on a micro level, but seriously, on a cellular level, the way the body truly functions and repairs itself, it's low and slow, low and slow. So it takes time, y'all. This is not magic. Rebuilding real health does not happen because you got given a prescription for something. It does not happen because you had surgery for something. It happens when you start to really realize that all of these symptoms, all the aches and pains and the things that make you miserable, they are signs. They're just your body screaming out for something. And guess what? It is never screaming out for a prescription drug. Never. That is not what we're programmed to do. So that's how I live my life now. Real food, real nutrition, real movement. That's, y'all, get up and dance. Get up and dance. And you know what? I say this, dance like everybody's watching and you don't give a shit. You know? That's just the way I'm trying to function now. I'm so much happier like this too. And I want to give this so much to all of you, Sue. Oh, honey, I want you to feel so much better than you do. And I know how you feel. Even though I didn't necessarily have the diagnosis you have. Yeah, I know. Believe me. Have you ever been so out of energy, people? Have you ever been so out of energy? that you literally could not get up and take a shower for 5 days in a row on a regular basis. That sucks. I lived it. And it's real hard to say that out loud, but it's the truth. It's the God's honest truth. And nobody wants to live like that. If somebody that you know or love, by the way, is going through something like this, whoo, I beg of you to reconsider how they're really feeling, because people aren't just choosing not to do things. If somebody doesn't have energy, don't give them a Snicker bar. That's not what they need. It's just not. Real food, that helps. Official, oh, okay. You're not the weakest link. Official 1SP, what you talking about? You must have just learned about you don't rule. Okay, listen to, yes, B-Ant says, listen to your body. Yes. All right, boss baby, you have a question? All right. Okay, what's your question? Oh, unless it's that and oh. Aw, what a goofball. Sorry, I was looking at what you blocked there, Miss Chi. Thank you for that, by the way. Hi, Dahlia loves writing. How are you? Snickers is great depression food. It's not. Do I know what they've done with the week in the wild? Yes, I do. I live in the wild, child. Snickers is not great depression food. It's not. It and a lot of other things that we think are food are, in my opinion, it's not food. It's freaking poison. It is. It does things in your brain, and then it just kind of feeds that addiction. It's a drug. It should be, in my opinion, just my opinion. But a lot of this packaged bull crap that I absolutely thought it was food for years and years and years is not food. It is poison, and it is killing us. And we got to stop putting that shit in our mouths. I mean, just my opinion. I don't know that anyone is undermining me. What? Oh, Snickers was created during. Okay. Oh, you know what? I did not know that, official. Oh, and and I don't mean to pick on Snickers. I'm not. It's all of them. Okay. Snickers was just one of my larger and longer relationships. Snickers, Reese Cups, M&Ms, Payday. Yeah. Payday. When my son and I were first out on our own after my first marriage ended, I realize this is stupid now, but look, this is what happened. We didn't have money, and I would do everything I could to make sure he ate. And I would take a big old king size Payday bar, and I would cut it into little slices, and I would lay it out fill a whole plate like it was a meal, and that would be my meal a lot of times. So let me tell you, when I say that I have done it wrong, I absolutely mean I've done it so wrong, and I suffered the consequences, and nobody else should have to do that. Or we're talking about candy. Well, yeah. Sue, you're still enjoy eating your Vegemite. I love you, lady. Dahlia, no, we were talking about levels of vitamins and minerals in the body and the numbers that we're tested against. Because the numbers that we're tested against, the numbers that will be called deficient, that's when they become medically deficient. But see, I'm here to argue and advocate for the human deficiency part, the numbers between where it's called deficient and where it feels deficient, and they're not the same. And I don't think that necessarily a lot of us know this. So we're going to learn it. Hey, what's up, David Court with the crop? How you doing? And yeah, and so the candy bar thing, it is very, sugary stuff. Anything that white food ain't right. White ain't right. I said it. You heard it. It converts immediately upon swallowing to sugar. As far as your body's concerned, it's sugar. So, chips and bread and freaking pasta and all, it all has the same exact effect within the body. And it feeds itself. It's like eating that crap is a self-fulfilling prophecy because the actions that it causes within the bloodstream and within the brain then lead to some chemical reactions that leave one feeling nothing but a craving for more of it. Chinese food, anybody? God, don't eat that crap. Please don't eat that crap. Mm-mm, no, I mean, unless you make it yourself, please, not that takeout crap. It is horrible, horrible, and it's filled with fire, in my opinion. MSG is fire for the body. Bleached food, yeah, I mean bleached food. Bleached food. You caught me. Thank you. Vegemite is great for vitamin D. That makes a lot of sense too. Then that so another really good source of B12 specifically is going to be nutritional yeast, which is it's like a powdered yeast product. It looks and tastes like cheddar cheese. Look, I'm just saying. You used to eat. You used to eat. Oh, that's sorry. Chris, you're saying you used to eat much candy and you got really fat. I did too. I did. And y'all, I have pictures. I'm gonna be sharing these, but like I did, I was fat. I was fat, but I've been skinny too. Now look, it's always been one or the other. It's never been the middle till now. Thank God. I've been skinny as a rail, looking like a crackhead. I'm not kidding. And I have been real Shamu. And I didn't like either one of them, frankly. I like this whole balanced life a whole lot better. Official. What do you mean about your name, Dahlia? I love that name. Dahlia is a cool name. All right, y'all. Smoke. What you talking about with smoke, Dahlia? You must know me. Okay, wait. If anybody has any questions, please go ahead and put it in the chat. And oh wow, we got 19 thumbs up. Thank you all so very, very, very much. I'm seriously passionate about this. I don't know how to give this to everybody, but I would if I could. I'm sharing the information, and I promise if you start addressing these things, you will feel better. It's not magic, okay? It's not like that. But we didn't get all worn out and used up, overnight. It takes time to rebuild it. But this is actually the way to really, really rebuild your health. And honest to God, it makes you a better patient because once you start paying attention to one part of your body or your health in a closer way, you start to see the relationship of everything and you start being able to understand because your body's speaking to you. It's not working against you. It's not trying to kill you. It's crying out for one thing or another. Hi, Marjorie. What? Hey, girl. Marjorie sister. What? Oh, it's moving. Marjorie sister for real podcast, and I've actually watched your podcast with Lynn's life less. Hey, Lynn, I didn't know you were here. I'm so sorry that I missed you. I'm sorry if I missed anybody, you guys. I was really trying to focus on the information, and I did it. I'm so proud of me. Usually, I get way, way off track, but this is where my heart is. This is where my heart is. Healing for yourself. Because when your body heals, your emotions heal. Because your brain isn't separate from your body. I don't care what they say. There's absolutely a body-brain connection. We're one organism, and one does not work without the other. It just doesn't. Oh, there you are. I knew it. I was like, wait a minute. Hey, girl. Marjorie, thank you so much for the gift. What is this? A super chat? I can't remember. Super sticker, super chat. Thank you so much. You love to heal too, official? Yeah, and I can't not. I just can't not. It's like, but I did have to go from in the beginning, when I first started to discover and realize and find real answers, and y'all have no idea how much research is available out there. It's amazing. But at first I was like a rabid dog. If I saw you at the grocery store and you were buying freaking Takis for your kids, I'd be like, excuse me, ma'am, could you not try to poison your kids with this crap here? So I had to find a level where I could share it without being insane. Hey, Jacob Sinky, my brother, how are you? The ant says we don't have experts now. So again, listen to your body for prevention. Yes, absolutely. And I think personally that we can become our own experts. I do. I can promise you, I know what's going on in my body, and pretty immediate most of the time now, but it took 3 years to turn all the freaking noise down in here. Y'all, my brain was not working right. It was not. Um, I couldn't do anything 4 steps ahead. And this is another thing. If you're real depleted like I was, if you're eating crappy stuff that isn't really food, you could get yourself also to the point where your brain ain't working right. I mean, I think back to just a few years ago and I'm like, I was out of my dang mind. I mean, I was bat crap crazy. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anybody. Nobody should have to go through this. You know what else? All this started a very long time ago. So, whole new world, dope, fetish. I'm eating well. Thank you. I hope you are too. Eat organic. And listen, I ain't talking about affordability. You can't afford not to. I'm telling you, you cannot afford not to buy organic, grass fed, grass finished beef, if at all possible. Why? Because the crap that's at the store is not anything other than misery meat. I ain't saying mystery meat, misery meat. What you eat, the imprint on what you eat is the life that animal lives. Now, if you are a cow and you lived in a big parking lot that has a fence around it with a 1,000 other cows, and you've never touched grass a day in your life, you think that's a happy animal? You think that's healthy meat? No, that's not healthy. It's time. It's time to realize that this crap is crap. It's time to put our money where our mouth is going to go. I'm serious. Because once you start prioritizing you, your body, your health, your family's bodies, your family's health, and you realize that you cannot scrimp and save in that spot, yeah, you start realizing, wait, I might be living for the wrong thing and put my money in the wrong spot. And maybe that's why we eat all this crappy ass stuff. Excuse my language again. I'm so sorry. I do get passionate about this, but I just 100% know it's one thing leads to another. So if you eat crap, you're going to want to eat crap. And if you stop the bus and say, hold up, just one meal, okay? I know it's tough time. Believe me, I know it's tough times. So not everybody can go to Whole Foods. Not everybody even has a way to get to damn Whole Foods. And I know that too. But I'm one meal a week, people. One meal a week. Start there. Please, I beg you, start by promising yourself and making it a priority to cook yourself one meal a week. That's nothing but whole, organic food that you cooked. Because nobody cares about you as much as you do. And if you're not caring for you, that's the precedent that you're setting for the rest of the world. Let's raise our value. Let's love ourselves. Then we can be kind to each other, right? I'm just saying. All right. You don't eat beef, official. I'm sorry that you don't eat beef. Justice for cows. Cattle rights cattle rights are humane rights. You're so cute. Yeah, I'm an empath and I have issues. Like I don't eat chicken anymore or any other kind of poultry actually. And primarily because of the relationship that I have with all of these chickens. You eat as well as you can. This is just how I personally am functioning from a place of the most biologically available and identical vitamins and minerals from my food and from my supplements. And because we don't serve water buffalo as a regular thing here in the United States, second best choice is cow. It's the most bioidentical across the board. Cattle rights are humane. You're so cute. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope that you got something out of this. I really do. And I hope that you make that promise to yourself for that one completely organic meal a week that you took the time to cook for yourself. Because change starts, with one little thing. It honestly does. That was something that drove me in the very beginning when it was still freaking impossible most days to even crawl out of the bed. It was just do one thing, achieve one thing. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be huge. Fold that laundry basket of clothes that you've been putting off. I mean, just something little. Rebuilding it all starts with one little step. It does not have to be a massive, monumental step, and it doesn't have to be whatever the latest freaking TikTok craze is. One little thing that somebody else might think, that's nothing, honey, that could be huge for you. I know it was for me. You use ground lamb to make your shepherd's pie. Lamb is really, really, really good. Um, Marjorie, what do you mean? What's the best vitamin? There is not a best single vitamin, in my opinion, because of the world that we live in and all this crappy food. There are 4 vitamins that I recommend to everyone that I know, everybody I know, everyone. That's vitamin D. Ooh, not necessarily in this milligram, but vitamin D, magnesium glycinate, your K vitamins, and a B complex. And these particular ones are all highly researched. They're very bioavailable. I'm still looking for a better source for this, only because this is also owned by a big pharma company, and I don't really like that. I think I have found one. I think Pure Encapsulations might be a better way to go. But Now Foods is a small family-owned company. They're wonderful. And I can't remember who owns Life Extensions, but I know these are good, really good vitamins. Another brand of vitamins that's really good is Thorne. They're very, very expensive for most folks these days, but they're fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. There's a few brands out there, and it took me a long time to get to these 4, and I do take other ones, but these are the 4. These are the 4 that most all of us are running low on. Not medically depleted, but not human optimal levels at all. They're not expensive. They're not. It feels like it at first if you're doing it for a big family, though. So vitamin D, D3 specifically is one of the least expensive vitamins that you can get your hands on. And I personally recommend the liquid ones. I think they work better. That's just me. I would not take vitamin D without magnesium because they don't work well without the other. And if you do start taking vitamin D and you're not taking magnesium and you suddenly get constipated, that's why. It's not the vitamin D's fault. It's because the vitamin D needed this to be active, and your guts need magnesium to poop. So if you already used it up, okay. So see, logical. The K vitamins, they tell the calcium to go into your bones and in your teeth and not into, your arteries. So I don't do it without that. And people are crazy as hell anymore. And it's because, in my opinion, they do not have B vitamins. I do some other stuff too. I take niacin several times a day. And that's a whole other thing. It's kind of an advanced vitamin supplement, I think, but it helps the crazy. One of my tells, and I think I've said this one time before, I know I'm getting low on my B vitamins when I start dropping them F-bombs on the regular, because it's like I don't have the capacity to access my actual full language skills. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Yeah. I should probably take a niacin and go eat a steak. And I say steak a lot. We don't really eat steak, y'all. Hey, Tennessee blacksmith, what is that? Oh, are you really a blacksmith? That'd be awesome. Thank you, sweet. Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you for saying that. Thank you so much. I feel amazing. I also feel like for a whole long time, I was running on such a low level of stuff that I aged super quick. In fact, I know I aged really quick. I remember when it happened. It felt almost overnight, but it was like I had no collagen. So you'll see that, I had no collagen available, and your body it'll take it from wherever it can get it. You are. Oh my gosh. Tennessee blacksmith. That is freaking amazing. I'm gonna have to follow your channel. Marjorie, you are one of my mods. Y'all, can somebody find Tennessee blacksmith's link and drop it in the chat, please? Yes, it's Ames's garden. People are crazy as hell. You think you say that a few times every day? Yeah. I was not, Porter. I was not eating a healthy diet. No, I was eating really, really bad, and it got worse there at the end. I was eating what I thought was normal, though, bag full of food from drive-through or a restaurant or whatever, and a whole lot of crap from the grocery store that came in, cans that had flavors already in it and all kinds of preservatives, and the breads and the frozen stuff that's flavored, like banquet meals. Yeah, very cheap stuff that I could put in my mouth so I wouldn't feel like I was hungry, but my body was starving to death. And I think this is really common. I think as a nation, we're overweight and under freaking nourished on an incredibly huge level, and it drives all kinds of disease. Let's see. But the ice storm came. Oh my gosh, no, it destroyed your shop. The ice. Oh my gosh, Tennessee blacksmith. I am so, so sorry to hear that, my dear. You have to fix everything up. Drink water and exercise. Yes. Have a great day, Porter. Thank you, Chi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna have to follow you, dude. So y'all, my son Matthew, last night that game of Uno was freaking hilarious. My son Matthew wants to learn blacksmithing. And I need to find him a channel that he can learn from, really, because there's, in real life, there's no blacksmiths around here. Good morning, Porter, Chi says. I'm so sorry to hear that, though. See, and I can't even click it till later, but thank you, Chi, so much. Guys, please check out Tennessee Blacksmith 2018 and send him loving prayers and good energy, because his shop got destroyed with this recent ice storm, which, we got that here too. But we didn't get that amount of destruction. We did have some limbs come down, and we had that limb come through the roof of the coop, which we still haven't been able to fix yet. Being intimate regulates. I've never heard this official. I'm going to read this, y'all. This official 1SP, he says, being intimate regulates vitamin D, B12, B9, and B6. That's awesome. And if you have the proper levels, there'll be something to regulate, right? And if you don't have the levels, you probably aren't feeling very intimate. Like, don't touch me. Yeah, I lived that life. It sucked. All right, guys, we're going to jump off. Take your vitamins, please. Bioavailable vitamins are, in my opinion, the best. And unfortunately, because of our food supply and soils of the planet, what's been done, I don't think you can get all your vitamins from your food. It's just not currently possible. That's just my opinion. Again, I am absolutely not a doctor or a medical professional. I am a hippie human who went from death's doorstep to, baby, I'm living that vital life now. And I think we can all lead a much more vitality-filled life, energetic life, happy life, one thing at a time. Oh, that's terrible. Now, by the way, hey, Renee, darling, I am an empath. And so if we can, please just keep real terrible information out of the chat. It really messes me up. So, but I'm very sorry to hear about your loss, my darling. I'm getting better. Y'all. I'm getting my stores built back up, and I'm able to handle more and more all the time. But I also know myself, and I know, like, whoa, lady, I have to keep my guardrails still up and just be careful. And I think that's something we should all do. It's real honorable for yourself to do that for yourself, right? You are welcome, Chi. Thank you so much for coming in. Renee, Secret Garden. Hey, darling, I love you. Official 1SP, you too, you know it. Angels. Oh, you eat moringa leaves from your tree. Nice. I have moringa seeds. Official Jamia, as a matter of fact, is the one who sent me those seeds. So I will be growing them this year, but I have some in my Amazon cart. I have some in the cart. I'm like, because they are incredible sources of a lot of vitamins and trace minerals. So yay. All right, people, gotta go, really, because I'll just sit here and talk to you all day. Thank you so much. I love you. Love yourself and be kind to each other. All right. Have a wonderful day. Bye.